Hello everyone, I am Anish Bagga. I have secured rank 4 in Engineering Services examination from Civil Engineering branch. I have completed my BTech in 2018 from BIT Mesra. Since then, I have been preparing for this examination. This was my second attempt. In the first attempt, I reached the interview, but I could not get in the final list. And this attempt, I got rank 4.
Congratulations, Anish, for securing All India Rank 4 in ESE 2020 from Civil Engineering branch.
Thank you, ma'am.
Anish, it's a huge success. How was it received? Take us through the very special moment.
Ma'am, the result was speculated that it would be coming on Monday, and finally it came at around 6 p.m. So when I downloaded the PDF, मैंने स्क्रॉल करना स्टार्ट किया. मैंने अपना रोल नंबर सर्च नहीं किया. मैंने सोचा हुआ था पहले से कि मैं स्क्रॉल करूंगा. तो फाइनली मैंने फोर्थ में अपना देखा. फिर पहले तो मुझे यकीन ही नहीं हो रहा था. फिर मैंने अपना रोल नंबर मैच किया डिजिट वाइज. उसके बाद थोड़ा 5 मिनट मुझे लगे समझने में कि हुआ क्या है. उसके बाद मैंने अपने मम्मी को बताया. फिर माय फादर वाज इन शॉप एट दैट टाइम. So I called him. I told him that I got selected, but I did not tell him the rank. So finally he came home. I told him the rank. So all were very happy. I was very happy to make my parents happy. That was the main motivation behind me giving the examination, that I wanted to make my parents happy, and that I achieved through this. So I'm very relaxed right now. It was a very long journey, 3 years long. I started in 2018. So now after the results, I'm relaxed. More than happy, I'm relaxed. I'm feeling relaxed.
When did you decided that I want to go for engineering services?
In my final year, I was tilted towards gate preparation. So when I started my gate preparation, I got interest in civil engineering. Then I contacted my seniors and also a teacher who had been selected earlier in engineering services. He told me about the pattern regarding engineering services, the wide scope engineering services has as compared to GATE. Since then, my main alignment shifted from GATE to engineering services. So after my BTech was complete, I formally decided to study sincerely. Though I was sincere with in my college also, but formal study came after my graduation, after 2018, after my graduation was finished in May 2018 of the exam.
What was your overall strategy with regard to engineering services exam?
I mostly followed the schedule of the test series. That relieves much of your burden of planning. You do not have to plan anything. As per my strategy, I left it entirely for the test series. As per the tests were going on, I used to do that subject. I did not plan any specific strategy for revision. And that simple reverse approach I followed, that whenever I got stuck to a question, I used to revise from my short notes or my prelims copy. And one thing which helped me, which I think was very important, I also, in spite of fact I made short notes, but also I made micro notes. I believe these were the main factor behind my success this time. This gave me this made me very confident regarding my preparation, because I used to include that things in micro notes that I used to forget, and not each and every formula of short notes. So it was a concised form of short notes, micro notes, and that only were 2 pages in prelims. In 2 pages, I summarized the entire civil engineering, and that 2 pages I read very diligently each and every day I used to refer to it. And further, for mains also, I followed similar strategy. By mains, I added 4 more pages to it. So now I had to only revise these 6 pages, and these 6 pages had only topics which I used to forget. I revised them daily. On a daily basis, I used to revise them. And this made me very confident that the things I used to forget, I'm revising that. That means I've covered the entire syllabus. So that micro notes made a major difference. And this micro notes I adopted in my second attempt. This was a major learning which I took from the first attempt. In first attempt, the main reason for not getting selection was the lack of confidence. And I realized these micro notes gave me sufficient confidence. If you revise the topics you forget daily, then nothing is left in civil engineering. That confidence is the most important regarding clearing the exam. If you get confident that yes, I am now capable of clearing this exam, then no one will stop you. That was the main thing which helped me in my second attempt.
What was your strategy for short notes and micro notes?
Again, a very relevant question. So step one for making short notes is to first complete the previous year questions. First, you go through the class notes which you have been given by the institute. Then you solve the previous year questions. After that, you make short notes. And in my opinion, short notes for prelims should include all the formulas, irrespective of whether you will forget it or not. But when you are making micro notes, you should only include those formulas that you are sure that you will forget at some point of the time or other. For example, to give you a very simple example, in my short notes, I even wrote the formula of SE is equal to WG, which is the most basic formula for geotechnical engineering. But in my micro notes, I did not do that. I only did that, only those formulas which I was sure, or I had, there were more chances of me forgetting that. So in my micro notes, there were only 6 pages in which I summarized the entire civil engineering, each and every concept of previous year questions, notes, and only those concepts which I used to forget. So micro notes should be prepared only at the end of your first or second revision, but short notes have to be prepared at a every earlier stage, even after you solve the previous year questions. So this was the major difference between short notes and micro notes. Micro notes have to be prepared when all the syllabus you have completed once or twice, and now you are sure that these are the formulas I'm not comfortable with, so these have to be written in micro notes.
How did you avoid anxiety in exam hall?
So that anxiety is very natural. It happens with each and every one of us. So my major plan was to first strike out the first half an hour. What I'll do, I was thinking about that, and I made sure that if I made a lead, if I increased my speed, if I solved the questions I was comfortable with in the first half an hour, then I was sure that I'll be able to manage 3 hours very well. So in those time, I was thinking about my strategy regarding the first half an hour only. For example, in prelims, I had a very interest due from my college times in strength of materials. So I was thinking about those simple formulas, keeping my mind free of other difficult things, SOM, which I loved. So I was thinking about that. And that also helped me because I started my paper with SOM. So this was the strategy for prelims. And mains also, I was very sorted that which portions I have to do first. So I made sure that I will do the bigger things first, so that if you take a lead, if you initially speed up in the 30 minutes, then your confidence will be sky high, and then you can easily manage your 3 hours very well. So that was the point which made me less anxious. I was anxious, but still I was thinking about the first 30 minutes, that I have to make a lead, I have to maintain the speed during the first 30 minutes, then accuracy can be maintained in the rest 2.5 hours. Yes, sir, this was my strategy before and during the exam.
How did you decided order of questions?
Ma'am, this has to be worked before the main exam, where while you are solving the test series, you have to try various methods, try hit and trial. You have so many tests, you try each and every option, and finally before the final exam you have to come to a conclusion. Yes, that this is my strategy. First, you have to very freely express yourself in the test series, try various approaches. There are many tests, so you can try different strategies, and finally select the strategy which worked for you the most. So for me, I also did the same. During the initial few tests, I started with geotechnical and environmental engineering, but later I realized that I need to gain speed during the first 30 minutes. So later, as per the test series, I decided to attempt SOM and structure questions first, because there will be at least 20 to 30 questions from these two topics as far as prelims is concerned. So if you gain speed during the 30 topics, then I realized that my other 2.5 hours were being utilized very well, because that 30 minutes gave me made me very much confident. So my simple strategy was to attempt SOM and structure first. And particularly regarding other subjects, I had divided questions into 3 parts. Means I used to solve the entire paper in 3 parts. So पहले पार्ट में लगभग 2 घंटे लगते थे, मैं एक बार पूरे 150 क्वेश्चंस देख लेता था, और उसमें से जो टिक करने वाले हैं या जो 1 मिनट से कम में सॉल्व हो जाएंगे, तो फर्स्ट उनको सॉल्व कर लेता था. ऐसे approximately there would be 80 to 90 questions which I used to attempt in my first go. And similarly then 30 to 45 minutes मैं सेकेंड रीडिंग देता था, जिसमें हल्के जो बड़े क्वेश्चंस थे पर वो सॉल्व हो सकते थे. फिर थर्ड जब मैं रीडिंग देता था, तब मैं रिवर्स स्ट्रेटजी अपनाता था. वो देख लेता था कि OMR, how many spaces, how many answers I've not attempted. From the OMR sheet, I used to randomly go and identify, and whether some elimination, by elimination I did not use to solve bigger questions in the end. You are surely bound to make calculation mistakes because of the pressure. So I used to solve some by some tricks or by some elimination in the last. And also my strategy was to attempt maximum questions as I could. So I attempted roughly around 136 questions for the technical part and 88 questions for the GS part.
For how many marks you attempted for prelims and mains?
I did not knew a 20 marker numerical, and I attempted of 580 marks out of 600. My first priority was to complete the paper, even if certain amount of accuracy is compromised. My main motive was to complete the paper, but I did not knew a 20 marker numerical, so I attempted of 580 marks. That 20 marker numerical was a entirely different concept of environmental ASP that I had not read. Otherwise, if I would have read, I would try to attempt that also. And for prelims, I attempted, as I said, I attempted 136 questions in general in the technical part and 88 questions in the general studies part.
How did IES Master Test Series help you?
Base Master test series was very useful for prelims as well as mains, as the level of questions were a notch higher than that which are asked in the UPSC. So if you are accustomed to prepare for the tougher part, you can surely handle the easier part. So that pressure building was avoided by giving the test series of IS Master, both in prelims as well as mains.
How was interview experience at UPSC?
This time, my chairperson was Smita Nagraj ma'am, and overall the interview was experience was very nice. So she started with the basic introduction, asked me which all field visits I did. And when I said that my internship was in National Highway Authority of India, then further 90% of the questions asked from me were from highway engineering. And I prepared highway and geotech very well. So 90% of the questions were from highway and geotech. That way, it is a chance of luck. I did not tell them that my favorite subjects are highway and geotech, but most of the questions asked to me were from highway and geotech. One panel member was a little wiser one, so he was asking very practical questions that I was not able to fulfill his expectations. Otherwise, Smita Nagraj ma'am and other two panel members, I mostly fulfilled their expectations as per my knowledge. I do not know the marks right now, but still interview is a very unpredictable stage, but I think I'll be able to score above average. But a lot depends. I'll be sure only after I'll see my marks, because interview is very variable. Last year, my friend gave all the answers correct, but he got very less, 92 marks. So they see the overall personality, not only how you answer the questions, but also the way you answer the questions. The total number of questions you answer is not important, but the way, with politeness, they see your character while you are answering the questions. So last year I scored good, but this year I have to see how much marks I'll get.
Tell us about the IES Masters Interview Guidance Program.
So, ma'am, I gave mock interviews in IES Master, and that mock interview was the best part of the preparation of interview. Their panel members were very nice. They gave me such nice suggestions after the interview was over. Also, they gave me the ways how I could improve. Also, the questions asked by them were very relevant to the actual UPSC interview. And both in my previous attempt also, I gave my mock interview here 2 times. This time also I gave my online mock interview through IS Master. So mostly the important factor behind my good interview marks in the past were the IS Master interview. The guidance given by the teachers was very helpful. They boosted the confidence in me that I could do well in the main exam as well, in the main interview as well. So I relied much on the mock suggestions given by the teachers in the mock interview that were very, very helpful to me. Last attempt also, this time also.
What was your daily routine?
First, I started my day from SOM and structure, the subjects which I like. So I studied them for around 3 hours. Then I went to other technical subjects of paper 2 from geotech environment. There was no fixed routine, but I used to follow the schedule of my test series. As per the test, I used to prepare that subject. But always I made sure that my morning start with sawman structure, so that for entire day I'm feeling a little confident and I utilize my entire day, other part of the day properly. Even if I had completed the sawman structure course twice or thrice, again I never used to change my routine. So my routine was mostly fixed around sawman structure in the morning. Other part of the day left with the flow, either on the test series or my mood. There was no plan for that.
How did you avoid distraction?
So the distraction part is very relevant. It occurs with all the candidates. So मैंने फर्स्ट ईयर में काफ़ी, जब फर्स्ट अटेम्प्ट था मेरा, मैंने सारा सब कुछ मैं यूज़ कर रहा था, फेसबुक, व्हाट्सएप। पर मैंने रियलाइज़ किया कि कहीं न कहीं बैक ऑफ द माइंड जब आप पढ़ते हो, तो कुछ ना कुछ जो आपने पढ़ा है या जो देखा है, वो कहीं न कहीं रह जाता है। तो ये भी एक मेजर चेंज जो मैंने अपने सेकंड अटेम्प्ट में लाया। जैसे ही मेरा फर्स्ट अटेम्प्ट में सिलेक्शन नहीं हुआ, आई न्यू दैट आई हैव टू टेक सम सीरियस स्टेप्स नाउ। सो मैंने सबसे पहले अपना एक नोकिया फ़ोन ऑर्डर किया, नोकिया 1100। वो उसके बाद मैंने पूरा अपना सोशली मैं थ्रू आउट द सेकंड अटेम्प्ट आई वाज़ सोशली इनएक्टिव। आई मेड श्योर दैट ईच एंड एवरी सेकंड काउंट्स टू द प्रिपरेशन। बिकॉज़ एक बार आपका फर्स्ट अटेम्प्ट में नहीं निकलता है, तो थोड़ा-सा प्रेशर आ ही जाता है आप पे। तो यू हैव टू फाइंड वेज़ टू अवॉइड द डिस्ट्रैक्शन। सो मेरे लिए ये काफ़ी काम किया। उससे आप फ़ोन में मोस्टली आपको कॉल्स करनी होती है, आप कॉल्स में बात कर लेते हो अपने दोस्तों से, जिससे आप डाउट डिस्कस कर सको। बट रिगार्डिंग फेसबुक, व्हाट्सएप मैंने कुछ भी नहीं यूज़ किया सेकंड अटेम्प्ट में।
Why engineering services was very important?
I had particularly sat one day and thought that I'll give engineering services. Overall, the mind frame developed in such a manner. Like I met people randomly. I met a student who had cleared the engineering services 2017. He had got all India rank 43. So from him, I interacted with him for 1.5 hours, and he only gave the entire procedure. I Before that I did not knew what was the actual procedure, what was the syllabus. So when I knew him, he was my senior from NIT Jamshedpur. So I thought that if he can do, I can also at least try and attempt this paper. Also, I liked the civil engineering entirely from my college, and I performed decently throughout my college. So certain amount of interest was present from initial days only. So, and after meeting my senior from NIT Jamshedpur, I reinforced myself that mostly a concrete plan developed after that, that I have to clear engineering services. He told me about the diversity of the work, the various opportunities, leadership. Apart from the technocrat, you also get managerial opportunities through engineering services. And it is, as per my opinion, it is considered as the best civil engineering job which one can offer in this country. So I decided to prepare after my graduation there, seriously after my graduation.
Why did you choose civil engineering?
Was not that I had to do civil engineering from the beginning. I had not thought that. As per my rank, I wanted to stay in my home state. So I applied only for two colleges, NIT Jamshedpur and BIT Mesra. So in both the colleges, I was getting civil engineering. So as per that, but when the journey of civil engineering started from second year, from then on, I developed a serious interest and I felt that I could make my career in civil engineering. But before 11th or 12th, I had not particularly thought. I had applied for all the branches, mostly electrical, mechanical, but because of my rank, I got civil engineering. But I'm very happy that I did not got electrical or mechanical, because the concepts of civil are very relatable. During my 11th and 12th, I was mostly not good with other parts of physics like thermodynamics or optics or electrical part, but I was very enthusiastic, or I was very attracted towards the mechanics part. And I believe the entire civil engineering is a further application or similar to mechanics. So finally I realized that a it was a good decision, or the fortune was good that I got civil engineering.
Tell us about your family.
My father is a businessman and my mother is housewife, and I'm their only child.
Tell us about your native place.
I belong to Ranchi, Jharkhand, and throughout my life I have been here. I have done my schooling here, education also there. I have stayed most of the time in Ranchi only.
Anish, tell us about your schooling.
I had done my schooling from Delhi Public School, Ranchi. Throughout my till my 12th, I was there only from beginning till 12th.
Tell us about your college life.
I graduated from BIT Mesra, so which is in the same town in which I live. So it was my duty to help my friends to get acquainted with the city. I used to take them to various tourist spots and other falls. Falls are very famous of Ranchi, so it was my duty. So as far as my college is concerned, in from beginning only I was focused only for two things, that I only read the basics of civil engineering, basics and nothing other, only limited part of civil engineering, and uh, mostly my interest grew towards sports. Before joining BIT Mesra, I was not much into sports, but during BIT Mesra, I tried many sports, each and every sport as far as I could try. There was a huge sports infrastructure in BIT Mesra. I tried my hands in, first to say, badminton, volleyball, football, cricket, and finally, for after trying for 2 3 years, I finally jumped to and finally concluded on badminton. And throughout my last 2 years, I was mostly focused on the badminton sport. So mostly I explored various sports, and finally during the first 2 years, and finally I made a hobby. I also mentioned playing badminton as a hobby in my DAF for the engineering services.
What are your future plans?
मेरे को पहले थोड़ा टाइम लगेगा ये फीलिंग सिंक इन होने में। अभी भी मुझे अच्छी तरह से विश्वास ही नहीं हो रहा है कि 4th रैंक आ गई है। आगे के प्लान्स अभी ज़्यादा सोचा तो नहीं है, बट आई विल बी अलॉटेड सीपीडब्ल्यूडी डिपार्टमेंट एज़ माय फर्स्ट प्रेफरेंस इज़ सीपीडब्ल्यूडी। सो मोस्टली मेरा फोकस अभी यही रहेगा कि जो प्री रिक्विजिट्स हैं सीपीडब्ल्यूडी ज्वाइन करने के, मोस्टली आई विल बी देयर इन द कंस्ट्रक्शन सेक्टर। सो राइट नाउ वी वर नॉट मच acquainted with the softwares which are used in the construction. So there are 6 to 7 months in joining, so I'll try to build up upon those departments and focus on the training. That will be my main motivation, that I train well, and after that I think I'll get exposure, and after that I'll think what to do further. Right now I have no such plans. I only want to commit 100% to the training and contribute to the department.
You have been an excellent student here at IES Master. We thank you so much for giving us time and for sharing your experience. God bless you.
Thank you, ma'am.